ジタバタせずにコーヒーでも入れよう。
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Top of the morning to you.
Oh, how's everybody doing on this Super Bowl Sunday?
Good.
Good, yeah.
Getting ready for more snow.
Yeah, I think we're going to get some snow, they're saying, too.
I
I don't need none of that. I need
just
heat.
washed my car yesterday. Bullshit.
It was almost 60 here yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Goofy.
like a little bit. We haven't really got any on Long Island, but if we don't, we don't. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Bandai to talk about. That's what's up.
Yep.
Yeah. Bandai. I'll give it a couple minutes for people to mosey on in here.
Hurry up, people. Mosey
Come
on
on,
in.
guys.
Saturday morning. Come on, people. Mosey. All right, there's 7 people watching, so that's what's up.
That's a start.
7 is better than 0. So, everybody having a good weekend?
Yes. You?
It's all right. I had to work
Yeah.
yesterday.
Ugh.
Yeah, for a training all day. Not getting paid what I'm worth, but you know.
But
Felt
who
like
is?
yesterday was a Friday, so today feels like a Saturday. So tomorrow is going to come as a bit of a shock.
Yeah. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining. Yeah, it's a pretty good weekend. You know, I've been obsessed with this game on the Switch called Stardew Valley. Have you ever heard of this game?
I have a friend who plays it.
Dude, it's
I
like,
haven't.
it's so dumb, but I'm just obsessed with it. You just do whatever. You can like I played it for like 5 hours just like fishing and shit.
So it's kind of like Animal Crossing?
Yeah, it's got like Super Nintendo style graphics.
Oh.
Top down view. You can kind of just do whatever. It's pretty fun. Morning, Chris. Good morning to you, mystery guest.
Mystery Facebook user.
Mystery Facebook.
Last time that
man.
was David. Last time we had that.
Yeah,
Maybe it's him again.
could be. So I guess there's some news we can talk about. Godzilla -1. I feel like we talk about that every episode, but it is now gone from theaters.
Amazing 2-month run.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I did. Did you catch it? I caught it in black and white. Right at the end. Did either of you guys catch it in black and white?
No.
Any?
Unfortunately not.
I wanted to, but the week was so busy I never made it.
Yeah, you know what? It wasn't. Yeah, I had wished I had seen it again in color. Let's just put it that way. It was cool for what it was, but I would have much preferred if that was going to be my last time seeing it. I wish I would have seen it in color again. Certain things like the when he goes under the ship and the water turns blue before he, certain things like that you really miss.
So some people are acting like it's like the better way to watch it. You
No,
don't
those
agree with
people
that,
are
right?
wrong. What's up, Nev? Gray was Yeah, I agree.
Hello.
I mean, it was, it was fine, but whatever.
Got a
I
Nev
brought a
shirt on
buddy.
today.
Nice. Man, your shirt's like in pristine condition. Mine is all ratted out. It's bad.
Oh, I should get mine.
Oh,
We gotta do a Nev Appreciation Day with our shirts.
yeah, I know. I still have my Smog and I think I have my Smog's in great shape. My Megalon one I wear to the gym, so it's pretty beat up. The Kumonga one, I think
I got Smog and Tongo.
This is the only one I
yeah,
got.
the Matango one was good too. Nev, you need to re-release those.
He needs to do a Gabbara.
All he should do is set up a
dude.
do a 1-day license.
A Gabbara would be great.
Yes. With Minya just poking out of the bottom.
Yeah.
I have told him
Twisted-
that. Make a Gabbara.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
buy
from
it
the
in a
Twisted
heartbeat.
Mind of Nev. Should do Gabbara like Predator style, where he's got Minya's head and his spinal cord, and he's just holding it up like in the Predator movies.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, poor Mina.
Yes.
That'd be pretty funny.
Oops, sorry.
Someday. Don't you tease us, Nev. So other Godzilla media related news. Pluto has got the Heisei and the Millennium movies
No,
back in
some
the
of the Heisei.
rotation. Yeah, some.
Not everything came back.
Yeah, are the Gamera movies still on? I
No,
haven't.
they're gone.
So they get rid of those.
Off.
Yeah. So, oops.
So I'm Facebook user too. Interesting.
You're a Facebook user?
Well, I just commented on,
Oh, yeah,
on GCG chat, so I gotta mess with my own permissions, I guess.
Yeah.
But Andy Morency from GCG is watching, so good morning to you, Andy.
Hello, Andy. You guys want to talk a little new purchases, or do you want to do the big X Plus news first?
Let's do new purchases.
New purchases? Sounds like a plan. I mean, I think we kind of touched on our new purchases. Last episode we got the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we all got that.
Yeah, we all got that guy.
And Rose, and you guys got Baggin.
Yeah. Where's Baggin? Somewhere. Don't I have Baggin somewhere? I don't know.
I didn't get that one.
Yeah. But the big thing everybody grabbed in the last couple of weeks is this thing. The Godzilla Tower. Yeah, which is awesome. Rich, I watched your review. So if you haven't seen that, go check out the review that Rich did on his channel. After this, of course.
That's right.
But yeah, man, it's super fun. That's just a cool little figure.
I didn't get one, sadly.
Oh man, I love it.
Yeah.
I wish they had advertised the balloon was able to come off.
Yeah. Why do people hate the balloon? Now I have it. I have the balloon on, but I'll probably. I mean, it doesn't bother me. But I see a lot of hate for the balloon. Is it just because it's stupid looking?
Here's
it definitely doesn't.
Yeah, it looks too static. Like I know it looks super static in the movie, but yeah, like Nev just said, it looks cheap.
But if it was permanent and you wanted to do a display with the monsters in it, the balloon being there would have been like, that would have not looked good.
Yeah, I might go just get a helium balloon and tie a string to it and tie it right to it, the real one. It look better.
Yeah. No, so I mean, it does pop right off though, which is nice. Yeah. Like it's literally just, it just pegs in. But it's super bendy wendy. You can have it doing all. I mean, you can make it like doing a loop de loop. Like
I just think like the figure, the tower itself is just awesome as it is, and
it's
the balloon almost doesn't complement the awesomeness that is the tower. And I get like, how are they going to do a balloon on a string at that scale, that small? So they did what they could. But it's just it's not necessary. Nice little touch, but not necessary.
Yeah. The other thing I don't like is the tag.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I watched your video beforehand because I was totally going to cut mine off. But then you made the point about it'll probably rattle around in there. So now I'm like, damn it. But I guess I'm just going to leave it on. It's not like I'm going to run around the house with it like, and it's going to bother me, the rattling, but it will always be, I guess, stuck in there. So
it's not as distracting. Like I'll put mine like that on his dorsal plates, and then when he's facing front, forward, it's not as distracting. I think it also helps that this is the biggest Toho Maniacs figure thus far. So that helps the tag not become such a distraction like it is for Serizawa and Matango, which even then it's not really that bad, but
Yeah. The only other thing is I wish it was more in scale with the actual.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, what does scale with it? Like an 8-inch Bandai or a Marmot?
Yeah, I wonder.
Actually I have my well, I'm just going to grab this because it's right in front of me. I got my bootleg Bandai Megalon. So technically they're in the 8-inch, 50 meters. So they scale up pretty well together.
I wonder if they would scale with those SH as my chair rotates around with those SH Monster Arts.
No, those are smaller than the 8-inch Bandai.
They're way too small, right?
It would be way too small. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Bandai is the only thing that truly matches up with it. Marmot would be too big.
Yeah. Aztec Astro. Get that coffee. Nev said it looks like a sperm.
What, the balloon?
Yeah. Oh my god. This guy. So yeah, I guess that's the biggest recent thing. I got my Rodan coming from Mondo. I actually thought it was going to get here this weekend, but it hasn't arrived yet unless it's sitting outside my house and I haven't.
Shame.
To be fair, I haven't checked. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Although I only got the.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say I grabbed the brown. I wish I had grabbed the more colorful version of it, but.
Getting back to the Bandais before, the that wave with Biolante, Crawling Header, and Boggin showed up again on the U.S. site for like a hot minute.
For a second, yeah.
Yeah. But that gives me hope that the next wave of stuff should show up there sooner or later.
The Flying Hedorah didn't show up on there, though.
But none of them did. Flying Hedorah, 64, Godzilla, Minya.
Yeah.
None of that stuff has been there yet, but I'm crossing my fingers because I haven't ordered it elsewhere.
Yeah. But the Flying Hedorah is the only one out from the 64 Minya wave. Those two haven't released yet. I actually have in my Bai storage the Flying Hedorah, so I purchased that from the Japanese Godzilla store, along with the what is it, that Godziban Godzilla 64 from that show on YouTube.
Yeah, those are cute.
Man.
Yeah, I figured, you know what, it was like $7. I'm like, sure, I might as well make it worth the purchase for something else from the Godzilla store along with the Hedorah.
Yeah.
And then let's see, I picked up, I have a couple things in my, I got the Toho Maniacs Alien X, the Planet X controller waiting to get shipped. I picked up, again, like a dumbass, this time I paid more money for them, is the Hyper Hobby Bandai Jet Jaguar, the ambulance and medic.
Oh, you did buy those. You
yeah,
told me
they
you
showed
were
up. Yeah, I know.
I was like, you're
totally
gonna get the
off
Jet
rails.
Jaguars, and you were like, "Hell no, I don't need everything."
Yeah, well, I needed. I'm going back after everything I had. Well,
that set also included a black Mechagodzilla.
I never sold it, so it's in the Bandai.
Oh,
room.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't sell everything, which was nice, because some of the stuff I've seen on Yahoo Japan, and I'm like, I'm glad I kept that, or glad I kept that.
Yeah.
So I have those, the Flying Hedorah, the Godziban, Planet X. I feel like there's something else in my storage, but I don't remember right now.
I finally ordered a -1 Bandai from Showcase after waiting way too long. He finally is getting more. So anybody who says you won't get them again, bullshit. But
yeah, you'll get
those especially. You'll have so many opportunities to get those. So I finally ordered one of those.
Yeah, even in the worst case scenario, you have to go in the aftermarket. Like, I'm buying figures from 20 years ago again.
Yeah, that's different.
Not a good advice, but at least there's still going to be opportunities to get this stuff. It's just jump on it when you can.
I applaud your resilience. I wouldn't want to go back and rebuy my Bandais and try to get like with tags and everything. That would I would go crazy. I've upgraded my stuff back when Bandais were pretty much dead, and I had to pick of everything. I wouldn't want to go do it now.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. It was more just a kick in the balls because I had it all, and I didn't have to sell it. It was because I thought I was refocusing my collection, and that went to hell. So,
but luckily it was mostly late 90s, 2000s stuff you sold anyway, so it's not going to go back and try to get all the 80s and 90s.
Yo, let me tell you, if I sold, and I know we're going to be moving into Bandai, so this is a good segue into it, but I am so glad I didn't sell any of the 80s and 90s stuff, because that stuff you do not see on Yahoo Japan as much and tagged and in good condition, because the majority of my 80s and 90s tagged stuff are in great condition. So,
yeah, mine too. Like when I was rebuying around 2004, when no one was buying Bandai anymore, I was able to get like these pristine tags, and I don't know how I'd find those now.
A lot of beat up stuff.
Yeah.
So, anyway, did anybody pre-order the X Plus 30 centimeter Cybot 84?
Not yet. Is it too late?
Yeah, no, it's up on the X Plus US site for pre-order. It's only like $160 something, before shipping. So I think out the door it was like $250, give or take, shipped. Yeah. So, and that comes out in, I think, April.
I had a thought looking at that. Wouldn't it be cool if they did one like that, but cut off at the waist with the hydraulics under it.
Oh, that
be
Total
awesome.
Maniacs line.
That'd be super cool.
Like the same figure, just cut it off at the waist and just have a base with hydraulics. Maybe
Yeah,
even include like a little guy with a control panel operating.
Total Maniacs.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Possibilities.
So here we go. We got, this was a good segue because
David, aren't you the guy that's following on X? We chit chat on. Yeah, it is. Good morning, David. Now that I can put names and faces together in different aspects. Sorry.
So, Rich, I'll let you do this part, but we got a bunch of reveals from Wonderfest, and I only grabbed the Plus stuff. I saw some awesome Sofubi stuff. I don't know if it was all from Spiral Studios, but holy shit, there was some incredible looking stuff that I saw. But I guess we'll start with the biggest news, which is that guy.
Yep. So this is X Plus's booth at Winter Wonderfest yesterday in Japan. So this is the finally revealed X Plus 30 centimeter Godzilla -1. Bam. This is the standard version.
That's 30 centimeter?
Yeah, that's a 30.
It looks so much bigger in these
photos.
photos.
It looks freaking huge. I thought it was a gigantic.
I think he's going to end up, if I had to guess, I'm willing to bet he's going to be like 34 centimeters tall. He looks massive. He looks massive.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on. He's got like a molar coming or a wisdom tooth coming in the back there. It looks kind of odd, but maybe that's just part of the prototype.
Yeah.
But that is the Rick. Sorry for the blurred photos. Just if you want to see at this point, if you're watching this and you haven't seen these photos all over Facebook and X and Instagram, be ashamed of yourself. Anyways, so that is the Rick. It's going to be blue dorsal plates, more than likely not a light up, because based off of that, it looks like those are painted blue. That looks cool. Probably
they look blue on this photo. Is this the same figure?
That's the Rick.
They look clear.
Okay.
Yeah, they got that translucent stuff.
Yeah, it's
I've
incredible.
been saying it for a while that the light ups I'm just burnt out on light ups because they burn out. But I think I'm gearing more towards going standard just because.
Cost will be better too on the standard.
Yeah, and it's gonna be. I mean, let's see. The standard is probably gonna run about $160, $180, give or take, and then the Rick are usually about I don't know, 20, 30, 40 bucks more. But being that it's the same sculpt, they might be priced the same. So we'll see. So that comes out, I think, in May, based off of the placard.
Really? Okay. Wow.
I think April or I think May. Well, the Rick
this one I'm definitely going to pre-order. I think this thing's beautiful. Let me have these two guys.
Yep. So I don't know why the Train Biter Defo reel, unless that's a gigantic Defo reel, would that be? Maybe. I actually forget. But the -1 is a Defo reel Train Biter, so that's there. Yeah. So I don't know. Dropping. It would be on the placard, but we'll get more information soon on those ones. Then over here we got the 84 Cybot that we had mentioned before. That just went up for pre-order. Awesome. Let me tell you about that. It's not just another 84, which is awesome. It's something a little bit different, more obscure, and something we haven't seen. Makes me real glad I sold the 25 centimeter some years ago, because that one I always felt looked like the Cybot. And now that I have an opportunity to get an actual Cybot, boom, winning. And then next to it was the 25 centimeter Kiryu. I hate that. I can never hate that. Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, Mechagodzilla. Exactly.
I can't pronounce it. Like I said, English is not my first language. Bad English is.
That Cybot looks pretty rad.
You got chakras next to him too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. The Rick.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I believe this is a Rick only release. So unless they put up a standard on sites like Hobby Search and Ami, but if it's a Rick only release, it comes with the chakras, the sea louse with the giant spear arrow thingy through it, which I'm excited to see, because I have the original sea louse from the original 30 centimeter 84. The coffee's kicking in. I'm mumbling. Okay.
Sucker was 5 feet long. That's a Godzilla 1985 reference right there.
Yes. This is favorite sculptors line, crawling Baragon 30 centimeter. I'm having a brain fart. Is this I think this is the Inui house. I don't know. I'm not a model guy. I know, but it's from a model, and I can't pronounce stuff. So if somebody knows what it is, just put it in the comment section. But it's a favorite sculptor's line, 30 centimeter crawling Baragon. Bam!
That's a cute little guy.
Yeah, it is. You can put a leash around him. I'm going to go stand out in my yard away from my neighbors to stare at me like I'm psycho. Sorry. Coffee's really kicked in. 30 centimeter Bagon. Bagon. Whatever that's how I pronounce it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty surprised Bagon is getting all this awesome attention lately. Yeah, it is weird. So if we've seen a Bandai, we've now seen a 30 centimeter X Plus. It's just a matter of time before SH Monster Arts does one. And I would expect to see more Bagon figures. So I guess I'm glad I didn't get the Bandai version, because I probably will get this, because I'm not really a fan of it, but what's that saying? FOMO, fear of missing out. So
different Bagon design though. This one's definitely different than the Bandai. This is based on the puppet from the Godzilla, not the original 90s design. I think
those shoulder spikes or something.
Yeah.
He's not going through any doors.
No. So yeah, pretty nuts.
Thanks, Shy Guy. Thanks, like I did it, like I sculpted it.
Good job, Brian.
I did my best.
Let's get some samples.
It's such 90s aesthetic, man. That's what when I did the review of the Bandai on my channel, that's what I was saying. Like, it's such a 90s over the top. Let's put as many spikes and horns and all kinds of goofy crap on this thing as we possibly can put on it. But yeah, it'll probably be a big seller. Bagon's always had that following. So yeah, that's the news you can use.
Yep.
So yeah. So now, my coffee's kicking in. There we go.
Yeah. Oh wait.
All right.
Wait. Just no more. Not about X Plus, but there was a whole bunch of other shit at Wonderfest. Something I was buying was the T-Base GMK, but that sold out like hotcakes on a Sunday morning after church. So, or Kaiju and coffee, and now they're popping up on Yahoo Japan for 45,000 yen. I'm like, no thanks. I don't like it that bad. Yep, One Up stuff had a bunch of new stuff. Their new One Up Ghidorah looks freaking awesome. Spiral toy was there. There was so much stuff there. There was just too much. Too much.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff. So keep your eyes peeled. Enjoy.
All right, and now we are going to dig into a bit of Bandai in the 80s, of which I may have to revoke my collector's card because I don't know a lot about Bandai in the 80s, nor do I have many figures from Bandai in the 80s. So Mike and Rich, this is more or less going to be your show. I'm just going to provide the slides.
There you go, though.
And I'll go through the comments and we'll find out. If you have any comments regarding any of these figures or questions or anything,
just comment.
Put them in the comment and I will get them up on the screen and we will try. Yeah, the Wonderfest reveals look awesome. I agree. The Spiral stuff looks really good. Yeah, Ben just said the Spiral. The Spiral Studio stuff looks really good. The One Up stuff obviously looks cool. All right, so you guys take it away. Bandai in the 80s.
All right, there's with Bandai, there's a lot to say. I mean, Bandai was my first, and I think no collection of Godzilla stuff is complete without the 80s Bandais, especially if you want a great overview of the Godzilla toys in the 80s. So let's start with the first one they did. Rich has got his. I got mine.
Oop.
No, it's okay. Do the photos.
You do the photos. Better look at it anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have this figure. So
Bandai's first Godzilla figure was this 62 over here. Pretty iconic. It's you can tell it's vintage, but it's still a beautiful toy. The thing is big. It's like bigger than most Bandai figures. I guess they hadn't quite figured out the scale yet. But yeah, you can tell it's the 62. before then, all Bandai figures, I mean, all Godzilla toys were pulpy, Bullmark, very stylized. So this would have been the first time someone really put out a suit accurate Godzilla toy back in '83. So this steps into a new, generation of these kind of toys. Rich, what do you think of it?
I totally dig it. It's a total appreciation for this figure, considering it's the first one. It came out in 1983, same year I was born. So happy birthday last year, you 40-year-old bastard. 40 years old, but think about that. That is just insane. But yeah, I love it. I dig it for where it comes from. Couple of other things about it. It was released in a plastic bag originally, if I'm remembering correctly.
With a piece of paper inside of it too.
This one right here. And I have the plastic bag. It's in one of my bins. But it's basically what you would get on the back of the tag, usually, the basic information, I believe, and that's the tag itself. So I have the bag and the red twist tie that I think it was a red twist tie that was on it. Why they bagged it, whatever.
They were probably still trying to figure out how to sell it.
Yeah, because
back then all figures
tags, and they weren't hanging them from toy shelves. So.
There's no barcode back here.
No,
and back in the day, they were in header cards, so the barcode would have been there, but these toys weren't sold that way. But that was the only one they did in a bag. So,
but it's cool. Another thing about this one, it's made in the harder vinyl. So I actually had another one at one point where it was cracked. So depending on the weather or the conditions and the temperatures in your room, you want to be careful with any figure, any collectible for that matter. But
don't drop these old Bandai.
Don't drop it. It will crack. It can crack.
Look at the nails and the feet; those would break right off.
Yep, they'll break. They're more susceptible to getting paint scuffs on it. But I mean, if you heat it up with a hairdryer, it will soften up.
Yeah, I mean, it's also got the matte vinyl. It wasn't long before all Bandais were glossy.
Yep,
that's unique for these guys. He's got the fins are a separate piece.
Yep,
and the teeth are sculpted out too. So they really gave this guy a lot of attention.
Yep.
The teeth, the fins are a separate piece. They could come off. I don't know if they're glued or not. But I know the reissues of this guy for the Memorial Box and the Godzilla Forever have completely different fins.
Mm-hmm.
I've never found out why. Maybe just to make it smaller, because these fins are gigantic.
I forget where I read it or who was telling me. It might have been Mike Johnson or Richard Cox. Because when the Forever series came out, they were using softer vinyl, and they made the dorsal plates smaller, because they're technically a child's toy.
Yeah.
So,
but
yeah,
this is iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think I actually owned one of those at one point, and then when I was in that mode of thinking I was going to sell my stuff, I think it was one of the first things that I actually did sell and didn't get back. So
Rich, of course, mentioned the tag.
Me.
These 80s Bandais, people call them the plastic tag Bandais because they're not like the cardboard ones. They're shiny, they're glossy, they're laminated. They're not really plastic. Yeah. They move.
That's cool.
They're laminated, but they have the headshots on them. Wrong Godzilla on the back, though.
Yep.
Got the licensing sticker. And they're cool. I mean, I think with these older toys, the tags are just as much a part of the toys as the figure itself is. If you have these old Bandais and you don't have the tags, you really only have half of it.
Yep.
So that was 83. And at the same, probably a little bit later, I would imagine, because now this is more of the regular Bandai 8-inch scale. You get the 64 Godzilla. Yep, there he is. That was my first. That was my first Bandai. Was this guy?
So yours is tagged? Did they come? Or was it not originally tagged? Because I bought mine from Brandon, and the tag was attached.
It might have been. I mean, I've had this figure since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Same tag and all. This is the exact same thing I had as a kid. So it might have been attached. I might have cut it off, or maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Here he is. Tell us.
If you had it when you were a
Godzilla.
kid, chances are you cut the tag off, right?
Yeah. Or it might not have even come tagged. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But here he is. Same hard green plastic, matte vinyl, same paint, silver on green.
Mm-hmm.
But this one doesn't have separate fins. They're just part of the sculpt, so they're a little bit more crude. But all cut out.
It looks like they didn't even cut them out completely, right? Yeah, they just sort of.
And they're angled upwards, so the figure could have been pulled out of the mold.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you sometimes you see on these old toys like appendages and like details are angled like this, so the toy can be pulled out of the mold.
That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, you have to keep in mind at the end of the day too, they were meant to be played with by kids.
This is a kid's toy.
I mean? Yeah, these weren't intended as like X pluses, So
he wants a hug.
All right. So then who came out next?
Would be the Mecha Godzilla.
And what year was that? Were we still all in the same?
Still 83, at least according to the feet.
Okay.
Yep. So we got the Mecha Godzilla over here. I love the tag. But one thing you notice with the tag on this guy, all the 80s Bandais, 83, 84, they have little triangular tips on the tag holders, not the C-loops.
Yeah, that's what I had on. Okay, I'm going to go back to the 64. That is what is on mine.
A little triangle, yeah. My Godzilla has the same thing.
That makes me wonder then if the 64 was originally attached tag.
Well, if it honestly, Rich, if it has the little triangle on the end of the tag holder, it's definitely original.
Yeah.
Mecha Godzilla has it too.
So mine, I have the loop, which means this was retagged.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I bought, I bought this from Greg. I think this was the first thing I bought from a dealer, from somebody that we know back in 2013, when probably one of my first purchases going through GCG back in 2011.
Yeah.
No, maybe, 2011, 12, I don't remember. But yeah, so this one's got the loop on it, which is fine. It's okay. It's okay. We still love it.
And once they take the tags off of these Mecha Godzillas, it's kind of hard to tell them apart. But for anybody who's really trying to collect these things, 83 is the only one that does not have painted feet. And the tail has an indent here, not a round nubbin. All the other reissues have little round nubs at the end. The 83 does not, and the feet are not painted. It's also a little bit bigger, but if you're shopping on like eBay or Yahoo Japan, you're not going to know that.
Yeah, I think aren't the yellow in the eyes? I think are a
more copper.
Different. Yeah,
a lot more copper on the teeth and the eyes.
The later reissue.
I mean, it's simple. It's Mecha Godzilla. Nothing dynamic, but I think it's cool. Definitely nice vintage Bandai.
Yep.
For sure. It's cool. I dig it. So and then nothing until 84. The following year, right? When Return of Godzilla came out.
Yep.
And I guess that was why it made sense for them to do a Return of Godzilla figure.
And I guess this is like Cybot Day because this is based on the Cybot, not the suit.
Yeah, it definitely does not look like the suit.
No.
And the Cybot's all over the tag.
Yep.
Yeah.
Both sides.
The tag on this toy, Rich, you have your tag?
Yes, sir.
It's not laminated, is it?
Hold on. I can't remember the last time I actually looked at the physical tag. Oh, darn.
Don't go crazy.
No. This is definitely more of a paper print.
Yeah, mine too. So it's...
It's not like the other tag. It's not like the plastic tags at all.
They didn't really put too much effort into this guy. He's smaller, first of all.
The sculpt is just lacking.
Very lacking.
Yeah, I've always thought that was a pretty crappy looking.
Look at the fins on this one. These are terrible.
It's like he's mid meltdown.
The paint on the face is like really awful. Doesn't have fangs. Why doesn't it have fangs?
Yeah.
I mean, it's quirky. It's cute. But it's not. No one's going to say, hey, I want an 84 Godzilla. I'm going to buy this one.
Yeah, I think over the years, sorry, over the years, I think it made me think that this was the inspiration behind the Imperial Godzilla. You know, just from
it's
the design, especially the paint job, because he's got the. I mean, this one he's got the white spray on his shoulder instead of his chest, so the painter probably sneezed.
But it shows how different the paint on mine, the silver, is much different than when yours. So
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, yours looks like
it's a lot less on my chest. But people don't really seem to care much about this one because Bandai did do an 84 eventually again in the memorial box, and that one's just
a beautiful one,
fucking masterpiece compared to this one.
Yeah.
But I remember in the 80s, I mean in the 90s when Bandai's got white hot, these toys were untouchable, even these guys, and no more untouchable than the King Ghidorah. Like that for a while, that figure was the hottest one. I remember that one going for $350, even more than that back in the mid 90s.
Really?
Yeah, like I mean, back when the Biollante and the Baragons were going for $300, these 80s toys were going for even more because people were just nuts for this stuff. If you found one for cheap at a convention, you could have turned that over so fast for so much money.
Yeah, and I don't have any knowledge of. I mean, what do these go for now? Like,
well, the hard thing with things like the King Ghidorah, he was reissued a whole bunch of times. Without the tag, it's kind of hard to tell which one is which.
Yeah,
but this one was in '84. This one came out in two different varieties. This one, which has a lot of gold, and another one which is more unpainted but more black. I have this is the gold one.
So, Mike, the ones that you're showing, are these the ones from when you were a kid, or are these ones you bought as an adult?
I bought this one later. The one I had as a kid was one of the horns broke off, chip on the toe, so I had to upgrade it. I don't remember when I did, though. Got the tag.
Okay. Yeah, cool. And Rich, yours are all more recent, not recent necessarily, but within the last like 20-year purchases, or are some of yours from when you were a kid?
Mine? Sorry.
Yeah.
Let's see. So actually, this one that I'm holding, I bought this one, the plastic tag from, I believe, Mike Johnson, G-Fest 2013. What can you notice about mine?
One of the heads is wrong.
Yeah, so I got two middle heads.
The right head is one of the middle heads.
Yeah, so I got two middle heads.
Really?
Which means this was Frankenstein, more or less, at some point.
Yeah,
or
the middle head sticks straight up, so you can tell.
Yeah, so this head should be like that head. But after I made the purchase, actually, Dutch pointed it out at G-Fest, and I was like, oh, shit. And then Mike Johnson was looking at me like this. He knew. But it's fine. I mean, it's the right head anyways, because the paint matches. So it's okay.
At least it didn't come from a different King Ghidorah figure.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So
that would have been funny.
It matches. Yeah.
I mean, this thing is, it's crude-ish, but for the time, we're talking 40 years ago now.
Yeah.
It's literally cool.
Yep. And then, now I'm thinking about it. If I really want to offset the difference, I'm going to swap the middle head with the left head, put the left head in the middle. That might, I don't know.
I mean, this thing came out a little over a decade earlier. Look at the difference.
Oh, yeah.
There's the Bullmark, the Bandai. I mean, just look how far they came. From 1970-ish to 1984.
I still think they're equally awesome.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
I love the old Bullmark.
And then another thing to point out is you'll know, like, you got an original, because if you look on the figure and you don't see any pinholes for where it was tagged, because some people took these figures and the tags and tagged them, when they shouldn't have been tagged. So mine,
but the tags had holes, which is
weird. They do, but the figure won't.
Not the Ghidorah.
Not
the Ghidorah. No.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
better late than never. It's all good.
2013.
All right, so.
But then in '84, Bandai did the Great Monster series, which was a bunch of larger figures of.
Yes.
Rich looks befuddled. What happened?
I remembered mine. Go ahead. My Godzilla's downstairs.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So here's the 64 Great Monster series Godzilla. I I would say maybe about 20 to 22 inches tall. I have one right next to me over here. Yeah, this guy's a big guy. He's cool. I don't have too much to say about it. It's just for a while, it was one of the biggest Godzillas you can get. I remember in the 80s, I would see it in the stores and comic book stores and just be like, holy shit. I didn't know they got that big. Now in the world of Gigantics and all of that, it looks positively puny, but it's still a cool toy. You get mine. It's big.
And
here he is.
From it being,
it's a great figure.
Yep. And then the bronze that I'm sure you're going to talk about. Those dorsal plates are a dead giveaway to make sure you have a legitimate one, because there is a bootleg that has puny ass looking dorsal plates.
Oh, these two figures have been bootlegged to hell and back.
Yeah.
You see more of the bootlegs of these guys than the real thing these days.
Yep. But the bootleg,
that's interesting.
The bootleg, you could tell based off of the dorsal plates, like it's a dead giveaway. They're smaller and just.
And usually the figure might be fully painted, or the teeth might be painted differently, or the eyes. And yeah, so this one, obviously, for a long time, the holy grail of Bandai's was this guy over here.
Yeah.
The bronze. I got mine about 20 years ago from a collector. It's a cool display piece. It really, really is. But the big problem with it is the paint is really sticky. Like, you can't touch it because it comes right off on your fingers. The only place I can touch it on is the arms. I don't know why they're not sticky, but the arms aren't sticky. This is an original. It's got the Bandai licensing tag, so it wasn't a repaint. It isn't some sort of bootleg, but it's sticky, which makes it really annoying to display because it gets dusty very easy. But it's cool. It's definitely a holy grail Bandai. I paid a lot for mine when I finally bought it. One of the few times I paid a lot for a Bandai toy. But it's cool. It's like a centerpiece. If you have an 80s Bandai collection, you kind of need this to like really tie it together. But I don't really know too many people who actually have it.
Doesn't Jordan have one?
He might. I know the Shields do.
Yep.
I don't think Greg ever had one.
I thought Jordan had one. I don't know.
Jordan might.
And then they did in the same series, they did a Mothra, correct?
Yeah, I don't have that one. So that's all Rich.
That one's that. And these photos are from the Rich Iso collection.
Yeah, so I honestly don't remember when I bought this one. Probably in the early 2000s. Figure comes in the box that you see, comes in a plastic bag. Typical that you would get with a Bandai figure nowadays. And the big difference between this one, because it was reissued in I think 91.
Yeah, that I have.
With a tag. This one, squishy. It's like a dog boy.
Yeah.
You know, so kind of like if anybody that has the X Plus squishy Hedorah, it's basically the same thing. But this was part of the Great Monster series as well. What year was this?
84. Should be 84.
Yeah, I couldn't remember.
Oh, my favorite thing about this one is the box that says "Ravishing a Universe for Love." I love
I was just gonna comment on the box. I think the box for that is so freaking rad. It's awesome.
Yeah, very retro.
Lots of English text.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And I remember one time
very B movie English text.
Yes. It wasn't too long ago. I was using my Google Translator on my phone and trying to read everything that it was saying, and it talks about the fairies and everything, but yeah, the ravishing the universe for love. It's like sometimes I'll be watching the movie now and I just see Mothra, I want love. Somebody love me.
It's one of those toys that you don't really hear people talk about when they talk about old Bandais. I think a lot of people don't even know it exists.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
It's a cool figure.
I never even got one, so it's like that's one of those things that just slipped right through the cracks for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Mike,
crack,
I know you have two. Yeah, that was a good segue. I know you have. Not only did you have one of these, you had two of these, right?
Yeah. If anybody wants to go back to our Christmas episode, I had two of these. The first one I got in '87, and my dad broke it, and I didn't get it again until 2013 when my wife bought it from Tim Crane's collection and gave it to me for Christmas. So I got it twice for Christmas, 30 years apart. That is the Fragile Wing King Ghidorah in the Great Monster series. It's a really cool toy. You just can't put the wings on because they'll break under their own weight.
Yeah, and that's a flaw, not with just a few. That's just basically a flaw across the board with this figure. From everything I've gathered, you have to pretty much display it the way you have it in this center picture, which is just the wings sitting behind it.
Yep. The wings are this incredibly thin plastic. They have these plastic tabs that fit into these thin slots on the back. I mean, X Plus fans who are annoyed how the Ghidorah's wings fit in these 768 figures, that's nothing compared to this. Like, right. At least those can get in and stay in. These will just break under their own weight. And
so there's probably none in existence that have the wings in and are still sitting on a shelf.
I doubt anybody. Probably, right? Yeah, I mean, this figure, look how thick these wings are. They're not movie accurate, but
they're like, you can squish the wings a little bit, right? Like they're two pieces glued together, basically.
But the as Great Monster series, it's just brittle, incredibly brittle plastic. You can't do much with it. I mean, I totally get it. Like, how do you do an accurate King Ghidorah out of plastic and vinyl? It's hard. I mean, but that wasn't. I don't think that was the right way.
I agree.
When the wings are in, it looks awesome, but I would never put the wings in mine. Not again. I wouldn't risk it again.
Well, that's something that just seems to plague certain Ghidorah figures. The original 25 centimeter X Plus Ghidorah just had, and still with some collectors has issues with the wings, then the tabs breaking, because it goes on in a very similar way, pushing the wings in via those, tabs.
Those stupid tabs.
Yeah. Mine broke sitting on the shelf. I came down one day and the wing was just lopped off to the side. And
I think that X Plus Ghidorah is awesome in terms of just design and sculpt, but the wings were not great. But I guess it's just a problem with King Ghidorahs. You either make the wings chubby and like really thick so they stay on, or you risk them breaking. Yeah.
I blame E.G. Tsuburaya for designing it that way. What was he thinking? God. So next up, they started doing some reissues, if I'm not mistaken, or am I mistaken?
Yeah, now it's just reissue time for a while. We're going to hit all the reissues this time because there isn't a lot in the 80s, and I think everything, even the reissues, are significant. So here's a reissue of the 64. You see a lot more black on this guy. Darker green vinyl, black paint. So you can pretty much tell the difference between this and the original. The original has
interesting.
A lot more
they're using
green.
The wrong Godzilla in the picture on the tag, and they used the wrong Godzilla on the picture on the tag of the original 62. They used the 64, and on this one they're using the 60.
Well, yeah. Highlight on me for a second, Brian.
I got
you. This is the back of the 64 tag. Look who it is.
Get you on the big screen.
Yo, Helen Keller was doing the tags and Bandai.
Oh my God, really? Wow, that's funny.
Like 64 and 62, they're iconic. They're the classic Godzillas.
That's not even close. Yeah.
The 67 on the 64 tag.
That's pretty funny.
What are they thinking? So yeah, people for a while called this Godzilla the alternate tag Godzilla because no other tags look like this.
Yep.
And the back of the tag has his name in big block letters and would be the first Bandai Godzilla tags that had barcodes. And the last 4 letters in the barcodes were the yen price, which they don't do anymore. I wish they still did. So you see on the back of the tags would have said 1200, which would have been 1,200 yen, is what the figure cost. So if you look on your old Bandai's, the last 4 letters on the barcode would have been the yen price. They stopped doing that, I think, around the 2010s.
Interesting.
Don't know why. So yeah, that was that Godzilla, and then a King Ghidorah. And there's 2 King Ghidorahs, different paints. I have both of those, and there's the tag.
Okay.
I mean, and they reissued the Great Monsters series. This is my original. I got this Christmas of 1991, and I still have it. It's still in perfect condition because I just keep it in the box. It stays in good condition in the box.
You're talking about the Great Monster series?
Yes, you have the reissue, right?
Yeah, I got it from Tim Crane. Hi, Tim.
Oh, you got Tim. So yours must be in perfect condition too, because Tim
have the
didn't buy
box
anything that
still and
wasn't in good
everything, yeah.
condition. Yeah, the boxes is cool. All the great monster series Godzilla's had similar boxes. So this one I think is a little bit lighter gray, has gray nails, eyes are a bit beady. I can see on yours, less red in the mouth, but still cool. I got mine came from Pony Toys. That was my
this was
big
a last
Christmas
second
present.
purchase at G Fest. I think it was one of the few things he had left to sell.
I remember I was behind the table with him trying to sell that stuff.
Yeah, and I bought it. I think I bought it on the last day. And then I'm trying to think how I got it home because I flew.
Did someone bring it home for you?
I don't remember how I got this thing home. Now that I think about it, maybe I shipped it. I did have to ship a bunch of stuff home, so maybe I shipped it home.
Because you had the box for that too. You said.
So yeah, I have the box still too.
That would have been a real pitch to ship.
Yeah. And then we got.
Okay, so hello, Destroy All Monsters tags.
Damn.
This is the beginning of it. So Godzilla got a reissue again. It's the 64. What are you gonna say? It's just the same figure.
Yeah, what are you gonna say? 64. That's what's up.
Yep. So that has a Destroy All Monsters tag. Mechagodzilla got reissued with a Destroy All Monsters tag. You can see the eyes are a bit more gold, less copper.
Yeah. Is this tag? Oh no, they're all like that. Okay, so they all have that perforation on them where you can rip the bottom part off.
Through 1991, all the tags had perforation on them.
Okay.
So you could find this Mechagodzilla with a 91 with a tag that says 1992 on it with no perforation. So this Mechagodzilla came out again.
Okay. So that's how you would know the differences by the perforation on the tag.
Yeah, the 64 Godzilla had one more re-release in 92, again without a perforated tag.
Okay.
And then you get this guy. This guy is infamous if you even know it exists. This isn't my photo. This isn't Rich's photo. This is from Club Tokyo. Because this Ghidorah, the damn tag Ghidorah, only had an incredibly short selling period. Very, very short. And it is, in terms of the retail Bandais, not exclusives, definitely the rarest Bandai of all time in terms of just the retail stuff. Very rarely seen. I only know a few people who have one. I think Brandon's got two of them because he would. And the problem with the figure is you need to have the tag. But I've seen it.
Yeah, the tag's what makes it valuable, right? Because otherwise, it's just
because the back will say King Ghidorah on the perforated section, so that's how you know. Yeah. But a lot of them I've seen the tag looks like shit, or the perforation is gone. So what's the point? So to get one of these with the tag attached, in great condition, it's. I don't even want to know how much it would go for now. It went for hundreds back 20 years ago.
Wow.
So
damn.
Yeah. That's one. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that wraps up Bandai in the 80s. You notice we did not mention anything from a Godzilla film that came out in 89.
Correct.
There were no Biollante toys.
Not until 92?
89.
No, I mean...
Biollante, the figure, came out in 92. Yes.
90, yeah.
But Bandai did not merchandise Godzilla versus Biollante at all. I think there might have been a couple of reasons for that. Maybe they were a little worried that a new Godzilla movie wasn't going to sell well. I don't know. Maybe they thought Biollante wasn't going to be a hot character. So, but I think what might have happened is the Biollante was made at the very last minute. The movie was like a last minute thing. The special effects scenes were shot very late. I think the final battle was shot in like late October, early November, and the film came out mid-December. Like the final Biollante suit rolled onto set just in time for shooting. That's how late it took to make this movie. Like it took forever to get the film out of pre-production, but they filmed it like super quick in the later half of the year. So I'm guessing that could be the reason why there wasn't much merchandise. Like how do you get toys ready
wasn't much
in
marketing
time
for it?
Yeah, there wasn't much. I don't think there was really much at all for this film. Maybe some books and shit, but no toys.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think the movie did great in Japan anyway. That's why they started introducing, classic Showa characters for the next 3 movies.
Reissues in the 89.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean that pretty much counted as a Biollante merchandise, I guess. Those 3 reissues, and then everything exploded after Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah came out. But when we continue, the next time we pick up with Bandai, we will be hitting that stuff.
Yeah, the 90s, I think, honestly, we're probably going to have to break down into 2 episodes, probably.
Yeah, because
that's when it goes insane.
It goes completely off the rails.
I will not be bringing all my Bandai from the 90s in here. Mike, do you have the theater exclusives for all that stuff too?
For what? Which films?
All of
them. Yes. Destroyer was obviously the first, but then they didn't do any for a while.
That's right. Yeah,
I do have all the Millennium theater exclusives. I have the Gamera, the Mothra, all of them. In fact, I think the only theater exclusive I'm missing is the -1.
Oh,
I should have gotten that damn thing.
I believe I just saw like another wave of them was released.
I'll see what happens, but I do have all the other theater exclusives from all the other films.
You want me to snag you one off of Yahoo Japan, depending on the price? Let me know.
It really depends on the price.
Yeah.
I'm not overpaying for Bandais these days. But I would like to get one eventually, but I do have everything else. But we'll get to that. I mean, Destroyer alone. I mean, when we do an episode about Destroyer, hint, hint, there's a lot of Bandai to talk about. I guess we can. I guess we should talk about what we're going to do next time, and because we want some audience participation this time.
Yeah. So, similar to the Son of Godzilla episode, the episode prior to this one, where we talked about the movie and then talked about the collectibles based on the movie, we're going to do that again, but we're going to do it with a Heisei movie. And we're going to leave the voting to the audience on which one to do. So I think sometime in the next, it's not going to be for 2 weeks. I don't want to have a 2-week voting period. So sometime in the next week or so, we're probably going to put up a poll in the Godzilla Collectors group on Facebook. So if you want to vote and you're not in the Godzilla Collectors group on Facebook, get in there. And then we'll put up a poll, and we're going to have all the Heisei movies listed. The one that gets the most votes when I guess honestly we should do the polling sooner rather than later, because then we got to prep for the episode. So yeah, probably within the next couple of days we'll put up a poll.
Yeah,
and we'll leave that up for maybe 3 or 4 days, and then we'll know what we're doing, and we'll start prepping for that.
You're right on prep. Son of Godzilla was easy because there's not a lot of Kumonga or Kamakiris figures, but if someone happens to vote for like Destroyer, then we have a lot to prep.
Yeah,
so,
if I was a betting man, my money would be on Destroyer or Biollante as getting the most votes. Maybe Return of Godzilla as a dark horse. Maybe?
Not as much stuff to talk about, but it is a dark horse.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll put that up for everyone. So if you're not in the Godzilla Collectors group, get in there. If for whatever reason you're not on Facebook, you can reach out to me or Rich or Mike, and we'll count your vote separate. So yeah, look, see, there you go.
There you go. Destroyer.
Yeah. So, thank you, Ben. So thanks everybody for tuning in. This was a fun one. We're gonna, like I said, next time we're gonna do a movie, and then I don't know what we're gonna do after that.
It won't be long before New Empire comes out.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do Godzilla X Kong at some point. So yeah, there's that. Rich, I know you just put out a video. Would you have anything else coming up that you want to plug or that we should look forward to?
Just as far as the YouTube channel goes, my next review will be the X Plus favorite sculptors line aggregate this stage Destroyer. Speaking of Destroyer, so that one I'm just procrastinating on filming the review after that. After that, I'll probably bounce back to do some Bandai reviews, and I've got a lot of stuff to film. I actually have my photo set up in my bedroom, so I am like ready to go to start knocking shit out. So that's coming next.
Cool. I think I don't know what I think. I'm going to hold off and wait until I get that Rodan from Mondo and do a review of that. So I'm hoping I'll have that in the next day or two, and then I'll hopefully get a review knocked out on that by the weekend. Otherwise, you know, I was thinking about maybe doing the Godzilla Tower. We'll see.
And speaking of which, are they doing a Gotengo in that line now?
Yes, they are.
The pre-order window already closed.
Of course,
yeah, unfortunately.
Of course it did.
Yeah.
For me, again.
Yeah. Otherwise, for me, I did go out to Maryland. I was on the latest episode of Nerd Rage Radio. It's a podcast. You can find it on every podcasting app out there. It's called Nerd Rage Radio. The episode is called the Godzilla episode. It was really fun to be on there. I had a really good time. We talked very brief. I mean, you know, as much time as I wanted to, it's not a Godzilla centric podcast by any stretch. It's all sorts of stuff, but we did I did touch on a little bit of the history of the franchise movie wise. We did talk about some collecting stuff. I'm actually editing a video right now from that podcast that actually shows the collectibles that we were talking about, which I don't know how that's going to exactly work. But if you listen to podcasts, definitely give that a check out. It's an awesome podcast anyway. So even if I wasn't on it, I would still say check it out. Otherwise, I think that's it, man. Mike, plug anything? Get in GCG, get in there.
No, yeah, you know, just GCG. I think it's the best Godzilla collecting group on Facebook. We don't talk. We talk movies, but mostly the toys. Come and hang out. Come and join, and just show off your stuff. Have fun. No, we are. Yeah. We will be how old this year? 13 years old this year. Yeah. 13 years. Yeah. So, come hang out.
Yeah. Mike, you would do really well with an Instagram account, I think, because you have so much stuff and you have so much knowledge that even if you just posted like one or two different figures every week with a synopsis or a history of the figure, I think that would be a pretty cool endeavor for you. And Instagram's way less like drama than 90% of the other social media type stuff. So
that's true.
Yeah. Diego Doom, you're late. That's all right, man.
You are late.
You can just watch it's going to be up on me and Rich's channel anyway. So, love you too. All right, everybody.
Bye, Nev.
Thanks so much for tuning in. We will see you again in 2 weeks. And, cool. Have a good rest of your weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Go Chiefs. Oh, God.
How about some coffee?
Coffee? I like coffee.